Everyone, and welcome again to my channel. So today we'll be learning about this oval or round shaped beaded bag. This is so pretty. Please don't forget to subscribe, share and like. Also turn on your notification for new video I'll be uploading. Hello and welcome again. So on my table here I have these pearls over here in 8mm. This is 8mm bead. And I have here my fishing line in 50 pounds. This is the fishing line. This is how it looks like. And it's in 50 pounds. So my little plier to cut any thread. So we are going to start with 3 beads. And I'm going to drop these 3 beads on the line. Like this. Then I'm going to cross one end of the line into the last bead and pull. Like this. This is how it's looking like. This is something you should have. On each line we are going to continue with 3. Then I'll put one on each line, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into the 3rd bead and pull. I'm crossing my line into this 3rd bead and pull down. This is how it's looking like. So we are going to continue again. Drop one bead on each line like this and cross both ends of your line into the 3rd bead and pull. We have 2 flowers. This is how it's looking like. Now we are repeating the same thing. I'm repeating the same thing over here. I put one bead on each line. Then I'm going to cross it again with the 3rd bead and pull. This is 3. This is how it's looking like. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to continue to make 5 flower like this. So this is 5. We start with 3 and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers in between. So with this we are going to end with 2 beads. I'm going to end this first row with 2 beads and pull. This is why you have something like this. This is how it should look like. Now, this line, I'll be adding 3 beads. Cross the other end of the line into the last bead and pull. This line, 2 beads. So with this, I'm going to hold this end of the line and I'm going to go through the top bead. I'm going to go through the top bead and pull. So this is how it's looking like. This is what you should have. And now I'm going to hold my line, this one. I'm going to go through this bead into that bead. This bead, and I'm going to go through the down bead. I'm going to go through this bead first. Then I'm crossing it into the down bead and pull. Now the other line, I'm going to hold it and go through the middle bead and cross it into the same bead. I'm going to dump that bead and I'm going to cross it into the same bead, so my line will be at the opposite of each other. So over here, what we are going to do, we are going to continue. I'm going to go through this bead. I'm going through that bead. And I'm adding 2 beads to the other line. Now into the next bead, two bead. I'm going to go to the next bead again, this line into the next bead. And I'll be adding 2 bead. This line, 2 bead. Into the next bead, two bead. I'm going through the next bead again with my line, this line into the next bead, and I'm adding 2 bead to the other line. This line into the next bead, that's the last bead we are going through. 2 bead. This is how it's looking like. This line I'm going to add 2 bead. So we are going to end this row also again with 2 bead. This is how it should look like. Now this line, I'm going to add 3 bead to the line. So 3 bead, and cross the other line into the last bead and pull. You'll have something like this. This line, 2 bead. So I'm going to hold this line and come through the top bead and pull. You have something like this. So I'm going to hold this line, go through this and come to the down bead. I'm going through that bead and cross it into this down bead over here. And now the other line too, I'm going to work my way into the next bead, the middle bead over here. This line, go through this and cross into this one. So cross into the same bead and pull. Like this. So now I just flip it over because I'm right-handed. I'm going to go through this line into the next bead. and I'm adding 2 beads to this line. So over here on this row, we are just going to continue going through the edge bead and add 2 bead this line into the next bead. Two bead. This line into the next bead. Two bead. This line into the next bead. And add 2 bead to the other line. Cross your end into it and pull. Now go to the next bead. Two bead. Into the next bead. Two bead. And I'm going to go to the next bead again, and I'll add 2 bead to my other line. So now I'm going to go through the edge bead over here again and pull, and now I add 2 bead to the other line. So over here too, this is how it's looking like. So this line, I'm going to add 2 bead. Cross the other line into the last bead and pull. And now we have our lines in this bead. So this line, 3 bead. This is how it's looking like. So this line, I'm going to add 2 bead to this line. So we are going to do the same thing we did for the other first 2 and pull. So you go through the top bead and pull. Now I'm going to go through this and come to the down bead. Hold this, go through this bead and come there. Come to the down bead. And you have something like this. I'm going to flip it over, and I'll be going through the next bead and continue the weaving. So this line, I'm going to go through the next bead, and I'm adding 2 bead to the other line. This line into the next bead. Two bead. I'm going through the next bead, and I'll add 2 bead. Into the next bead, 2 bead. It's just the same thing we are repeating over here. You go through the edge bead and add 2 bead to the other line, cross your end into the bead and pull. I'm going to go to the next bead again, and I'm adding 2 bead to the other line. Next bead, I'm adding 2 bead. And I'm going through the next bead. So because my line is short over here, after this one, I'm just going to weave it back into the bead, make it secured before we continue. So over here, I'm just weaving the rest of my line into the bead to make it secured before we continue. See how it's taking shape already? That is the shape we want. So over here, we stop here. I'm going to pull my line through this bead over here into this bead, the top bead, so we can continue our weaving. Two bead, I add 2 bead to the other line, and on this line two bead, and I'm crossing my other line into the other one and pull. So over here, so now we are turning again, and this line 3 bead. Cross the other line to the last one and pull. This line into the next bead, two bead. Now into the next bead. Two bead. Go to the next bead, add 2 bead. I'm going to go to the next bead, and now add 2 beads. So we continue the same way to the end. And now we are at the last end. I'm going to go through the last bead over here. This line, 2 bead. And this line, 3 bead. I'm going to flip it over so we can continue our beading. I'm going to go to the next bead, and I'll add 2 bead. Two bead. This line into the next bead, 2 bead. into the next bead, and now add 2 bead. So over here too, we are going to repeat the same thing. This is what I'm going to repeat on this row to the end. Continue to the end. Two bead. This one, you flip it over, 3 bead. This line into the next bead, and add 2 bead. Into the next bead, I'm adding 2 bead to the other line. I'm going to go through the next bead. Then we did the same thing, we are going to repeat. So now I'm almost at the end, and I'm going to go through the last bead over here, and on the other line, this line, 2 bead. This is how the shape is looking like. Look at the shape, so beautiful. It takes shape, round shape, or you can call it oval. It's oval shape or round shape, the way you want to. This is how it's looking like. For the rest of this line, let's weave it back into the bead. So this is how it's looking like. This is the shape. What we are going to do, we're going to do 2 like this, then we put it together. So you repeat the same thing for the first one and use it to do the second one too. Then you put it together, and I'm going to show you how we are going to put these 2 pieces together. Now on my line, I'm going to go through this edge bead over here. So I'm pulling my line through the edge bead, and I'm adding 1 bead to my line. And I'm going to go through the edge bead of the other piece. Hold both of the lines. You hold both lines and pull like this. Then I'm going to use 1 bead and cross both ends of my line into it and pull like this. So these both ends, I'm going to go through this one. I'm going to hold this, go through this bead. The other line too, I'm going to go through the next bead on the opposite side. And take 1 bead and cross both ends of your line into it and pull. Pull it down like this. So this one go into this into this bead. Go through this one, pull, add 1 bead, cross both ends of your line into that bead and pull. So continue the same way to close this gap. Now this is the last one, and I'm doing over here. And the rest of the line, I'm going to weave it back into the bead. Look at how the shape, it takes shape already. So for the edges, I'm going to use this yellow bead to do the edges. So we are going to build on the edge. This is the fresh line that I cut. I'm going to go through this bead over here. We are going to leave the top bead, all this top bead, we are going to leave it, and I'm going to pull my line through this bead. Pull the line through this one. We are going to build wall around the edge of this circle. So I'm adding 3 beads to my line. 3 beads, okay? And I'm going to go through the last bead and pull. So you have something like this. Have something like this. This line into the next bead. And I'm adding 2 beads to the other line. This line to the next bead. Two bead. Add 2 beads to the other line. Go to the next bead. Two bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. And now I'll be adding 2 beads to the other line. Into the next bead. This line into the next bead. And I'm adding 2 beads. This is what we are going to repeat around the circle. I'm going through the next bead. Two bead. Go to the next bead and add 2 bead. Next bead. Two bead. So this is how it's looking like. This is how we are going to build around the circle. We are going to continue. So continue the same way, continue around the circle or oval shape, if you want to call it, to here. We are going to stop here. Continue and weave around the edge. So you end over here. I'm going to end here. 2 bead. So this line, this is how it's looking like. We end in this bead, okay? I'm adding 3 beads to this line, and I'm crossing the other end of my line into the last bead and pull. So what we are going to do here, I'm going to go through the next bead again. We are repeating the same weave over here. I'm going to go through the next bead. Go through the next bead. and add 2 bead. I go through the next bead and I'm adding 2 bead over here. So this is what we are going to continue round again and build on it 3 times, okay? 3 times. And this is how it looks like when you're done building on it. This is 3 rows I built on this one. So this is one side that we have done. We complete one side and we have another side to add to it, to the other side. Put it together and make the bag. And this is the second side that I made. And this is how we are going to put it together, like this. Then I'll show you how we join the 2 pieces to make a bag. So these are 2 separate pieces we will make and then put together like this. So let me show you how we are going to do it. So this is the line. I'm going to go through the edge bead, like how we put the 2 pieces together. We are going to repeat the same thing over here too. So I'm going through the edge bead and I'm adding 1 bead to the line. Then I'm going to go through the other edge bead, this one over here. One bead and cross both ends of my line into the bead. And I'm going to go through the next bead. And this one too, I'm going to the next bead and pull. Take 1 bead, cross both ends of your line into that bead and pull. And we are going to repeat the same thing. I'm going to use this line to go to the next bead, and the other line too, I'm going to use it to go through the bead on the other side. So this one, I'm going to go through this bead on this piece of the bag and pull. Then 1 bead, cross both ends of the line into it and pull. Like this. This is all we'll keep repeating over here to join these 2 pieces together. So this line into the next bead, the next one into the next bead. We are going to go through the next bead over here. And the other line, I'm going to go through this bead over here. And cross both ends of my line and pull. This is how it's looking like. This is what the shape is looking like. It's a beautiful, beautiful bag. So we are going to continue to join the 2 pieces together, and this is how it's looking like. Okay, look at how beautiful it looks like already. So beautiful, so beautiful. This is the bag. So beautiful. This is the side, and we are going to put the lid on it, or a little flap on it. So I'm starting here with 3 beads, and I'm going to continue on the edge, just weaving the same way we are weaving. I'm going to use 444 over here. I'm going to go to the next bead and add 2 beads. to the next bead. Add 2 beads. So we continue to the end. And this is how it's looking like. We are going to build on this layer until it's long enough to close on the edge. And this is how it's looking like. So I'm going to continue to build on it. And this is how long it is. I make it long. So this one too it depends on you. You can make it long or you can make it medium or short. This is how I want it. And this one too, if you want to close, if you have a button, you can use button and make a loop and cross it over there, or use button or hook, whatever you have. Or you can even use pearl, the big ones. Use pearl, you put it there, make a little loop on the bag over there and cross it to hook it for you if you want. That's a choice. Or you can leave it open like that. It's a choice. So this is my handle of the bag and I'm going to attach it. So let me show you how I'm going to attach it to the bag. So here I'm finding the middle of the bag where I'm going to attach it. Okay, always find the middle of your bag. So here 1, 2, 3 is where I'm going to attach it because it landed in the middle of the bag. So I'm going to use these 3 beads like this to attach it. Go to the edge bead. I'm going to the edge bead. Then I'm going to add 1 bead to my line. Go through this bead over here. I'm going through it. Pull both ends of the line. Then I'm going to pick up 1 bead and cross both ends of my line into that bead and pull. Cross both ends into this bead and I'm pulling it down. And now I'm going to go to the next bead. Go to next bead, the other line. I'm going to go to the next bead on the handle. This one. So I'm taking 1 bead, crossing both ends of my line into it and pull. I'm going to go through this bead over here. And the last bead on the handle. This one. One bead, cross both ends of the line into it and pull. Like this. Then you pull tight. Okay, this is how it's looking like. The handle is attached and it's merged into the side of the bag. And it looks beautiful. Look at how beautiful it looks like. The rest of this line, I'm just weaving it into the bead, into the handle both ways so I can make it firm and strong. So we did this one and we are going to repeat the same thing on the other side over here to attach it. The way we attach the first one, we are going to repeat the same thing over here too. And we are done. This is our bag. This is how pretty it looks like. Look at it. Look at this bag. Very, very beautiful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share and like. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.